hijos de Pancho Villa, las manos arriba, te traen el mejor chisme, todos a bailar, es el mejor podcast, amigo, y viva los chismes, no paran de hablar, sí, a mover los pies.
Hi guys, we're again in another chapter of Hijos de su Pancho Villa, in a collaboration with Master Talks and Erika Ballesteros. And by now, beside me, I have a huge person in this cinematographic industry. He's Larry Miles. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Welcome to this space.
Thank you very much.
We are eager to know more about you. We know that you are a script supervisor, and this job you have made it like years ago, many years ago, and you have a long career. But that career, that's what we want to know today. So that's what we're going to talk with you at this moment. So be my guest.
Well, my career isn't that long, certainly not relative to the people who trained me, but I've been doing it for about 8 years. I've done mostly television, mostly in New York. The most famous projects I've been involved in are, the show The Walking Dead.
Oh, fantastic.
So they had a spin-off called The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. I did that. And I worked on Fallout, which is based on a video game. And I have worked on The Blacklist, which is a show of James Spader.
Super known.
I've worked on almost, even though I was just filling in, I worked on maybe almost every show that shoots in New York City at some point. It's not, the film community in New York, it's big, but it's not so big. You get to know each other and you help each other out when needed, when you need a day off, when you're sick, something like that. So.
And tell us, how about the experience to make those productions? Have you been like stressed out? It's normal to handle up stress. Do you enjoy it? Tell me more about you in the personal way.
I enjoy my work very much. It's very difficult. It's very challenging, and it is very stressful. Part of the job is to not show how stressed you are.
Okay.
If you're the director of a movie or TV show, and I'm the script supervisor, how far we're sitting right now is as close as we are for 12 hours a day, watching a monitor together. So I view my job, at least most jobs, primarily as trying to help the director. So being obviously stressed doesn't help anyone.
Okay.
So no matter what's going on in my head, I pretend to be totally calm.
Because
totally
you look
fine.
calm at the set. You look like really serious and calm. But so you are always like with all these thoughts in your mind, like a storm of thoughts, like thinking, hey, this, that, did that.
Well, my job is continuity. So if you're ever watching a movie and the actor has a glass of wine in his left hand, and then it cuts, and all of a sudden the glass magically jumps from his left hand to his right hand, I messed up that day. Okay. So my job is to make sure that everything is consistent, so that the audience doesn't have to, in their subconscious, come up with explanations as to why something is wrong, if that makes sense. And it could be very simple things like when someone goes through a door and they open the door with their right hand, and then they cut, and we're on the other side of the door as they come in. We want to see the actor still using his right hand to open the door. It doesn't seem like a big thing, but if it's wrong, somewhere in the audience's mind, in their brain, they have to come up with a reason why it's wrong. We don't want that. We want the audience to just be able to enjoy the story and not have to say, oh, why is the bag on the left hand and not the right hand? Why is that person who's supposed to be there not there? Yeah. It's consistency, continuity. So obviously there's a lot of details in that you have to keep track of. But I'm not doing it alone. I get a lot of help from props department, from costumes, from the actors themselves. The more experienced the actor is, the easier my job is, because more experienced actors understand that if at 9 a.m., when we're doing the first shot of the day, they come in, they wave hello, they pick up a pen with their left hand, they turn around, and they sit down on a certain word, experienced actors understand they have to keep doing that all day. Now, I'm there writing, okay, pen left hand, they wave right hand, they turn around over their left shoulder, they sit down on this word. So if they forget, they're like, hey, Larry, when did I do this? So there's stress in making sure you do all that. But the more experienced actors rarely ask, because they just have that muscle memory. They understand from years of experience, whatever I do at 9 a.m., I have to keep doing all day until we end.
For sure.
Because that's the nature of movies. The idea is it's all happening at the same time.
So can you tell us, you said, okay, if something is not going okay with this job, can you tell me like one time that you messed it up so badly, then maybe you didn't know, not even after post-production, that when you saw the chapter, no, or comments in the TV shows, I don't know. It has not to be like that, but tell us your
I'll
experience.
tell you my most embarrassing
Yeah,
experience.
maybe
Sure.
2 or 3.
Well, sometimes what'll happen, I can't think of this, in a fight scene, for example, when there are a lot of characters and they're all fighting. It's an action scene and they're all doing something. And we're moving very quickly during the day because we have a lot of work we have to do before the sun goes down. Sometimes I'll see a shot where whatever's happening in the foreground, in the front of the picture, there should be someone in the background, right? The actor should be there lying on the ground or getting punched or kicking someone, whatever the scene is. Yeah. But we're moving so fast, and I don't want to make excuses. But sometimes I mess up. I'm like, oh, and I watch the footage later. I'm like, oh, there should be someone in the background there. Why did I forget that? And it's, you know, when I go to see a movie, like a lot of people, I'm doing my job. Like I can't just let go. When I'm watching a movie, I'm doing my job. And there are some movies where the continuity is perfect. It's perfect. And I'm just like, oh my God, that is a perfect job. Yeah. And it's mind-blowing. Yeah. That's what you want. That's what you strive for. I try to be perfect in the work, but I admit sometimes I'm not. And, you know, and it depends on the production. Sometimes you have so much time before you roll the cameras. The actors have so much time to rehearse with the director, and you have all the time in the world to make sure everything's perfect. Sometimes it's just too much work, too little time. And it's not about money necessarily, it's just about the sun going down. It's like, you know, no amount of money can keep the sun up, right? Yeah. So you just do your best, and you try to, you know, and there's like an army of people that you have to coordinate with. You know, a question I get asked a lot when I tell people what my job is they say, what movie has the worst continuity, right? I don't know, but I know an example of intentionally wrong continuity that's brilliant. So part of my job is what's called screen grammar.
Screen grammar.
Right. So the rules of movie making. So example, right now we're in a conversation, right? Yeah. To those cameras, you're looking from the right to the left, okay? And I'm looking from the left to the right. Yeah. Now, if the camera on you was pointing this way, but the camera on me was this way, we would both be looking in the same direction. Yeah. So when they cut the footage together, it wouldn't look like we were talking to each other. It would look like we were both looking that way.
Yes.
Right? That's
Okay,
a huge
got it.
mistake. Or like if you see a bus leaving a station and it leaves from the right to the left, and then you cut outside, it's very important that that bus is moving from the right to the left. If it's all of a sudden moving in the other direction, you think, is the bus going back into the station? Like, you know, it's confusing.
Yeah, what's happening, yeah.
So in the movie Goodfellas, you know the movie Goodfellas, Martin Scorsese?
No.
Okay. Great film. It's a gangster movie, it's violent, it's not for everybody, but it's a great film. And there's a moment in Goodfellas where Joe Pesci's character shoots, they're playing poker, and he gets angry at this kid who's like bringing them drinks and everything, named Spider. And he gets so angry that he shoots him, that he murders him. And when he starts shooting him, the scene starts cutting very quickly, like very quick cuts. One cut goes directly to the wrong side. So in the whole scene, he's looking at Spider from the right to the left, and he's shooting from the right to the left. But for one moment, they jump, and he shoots left to right. Biggest mistake in cinema grammar. But it happens in a moment where the character is committing the biggest mistake in life, murder. So they intentionally made a mistake of cinema grammar in that moment because it reflects the mistake, the breaking of the rules in real life.
Oh.
So they broke cinema rules in that moment because the character was breaking rules of murder, of life.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant.
Well, that's really, yeah, it's super interesting. But maybe just people like you couldn't understand it like that.
Perhaps, but
Or maybe inconsciently.
and perhaps that's movies work that way.
Yeah.
A lot of the details, they're there. You see them because you see the movie, but you don't know that you're seeing them. But they're still there. They're still going on in your subconscious, in the back of your head, and it makes the movie a more satisfying, more full experience.
Yes. Yeah, maybe in that kind of situations or mistakes that are not mistakes, I think that they make you feel like weird when something is not going like in this sense that you have to respect in the scene. But it's funny because I think that I seen a movie with that kind of actions, and I think that it make me feel like we are like, hey, something is going weirdly here, but it's that magic.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully, it's intentional by the filmmakers.
Yeah.
They want you to feel weird in that moment. You should feel weird when someone's being murdered in a realistic movie like Goodfellas, for example. So.
That's super interesting. So tell me more about you. Okay, in this life that you have, this lifestyle that it's super, you need to invest there maybe all your daytime, or most of them, I think so. How is your personal life? Do you have a personal life?
No, not when I'm working. There's no... The show I mentioned, the Walking Dead show, that was 3.5 months of shooting. I averaged about 4.5 hours of sleep every night. My weekends, sometimes I would go see a play, right? I live in New York. So I bring my iPad so I can do work on the way to the play. While I'm watching the play, I'm thinking, why am I here? I should be preparing for Monday. And then I'm doing work on my way home from the play to my home. The hours are very long. Unlike other departments, when I get home, I have usually about at least 2 hours more work to do, because one of the most important parts of my job is I create reports that get sent to the editors, that get sent to post-production. and almost no one understands this while on set. They don't understand that without my work, the editor doesn't know what they're looking at. They don't get this because they're like, what? They have the script, they have the footage, they can figure it out. They can't figure, maybe if you want to add years to the time to create, to edit, but so while I'm on set, I'm trying to help the director, I'm trying to help any department, answer any questions, just be supportive and do my job. But at the same time, I'm always thinking about post-production. I'm always thinking about the editors who, no matter how great the footage is, no matter how beautiful it is, no matter how great the acting is, without the editors, it's a bunch of ones and zeros on hard drives. The editors have to put it all together in order to bring it to market so people can see it.
Yeah, it's the final product.
The final product. But people, when you're on set and you're working so hard to get everything done before the sun goes down, people aren't thinking about the editors or post-production.
No.
I have to be thinking about it, so I have to be the annoying guy and say, wait, this is wrong. This has,
Annoying guy.
it has
Hey,
to be.
now here comes Larry again.
Yes,
like that?
pretty much. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I don't mean this literally. The assistant director, I like the assistant. I'm usually friends with assistant director. Putting that aside, the AD and the script supervisor are natural-born enemies. Because the AD, her or his job is to make sure we get everything done that we're scheduled to do by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And my job is to make sure that when the editor gets the footage, it will cut perfectly. There won't be any mistakes. Yeah. So the AD just like, we gotta go, yeah. And I'm running in, no, the hair's wrong, or this has to be in the other
details.
hand. With the details. But the AD doesn't care about the details. The AD wants to get the footage done, get the scene done, and I do too. But I have to be the one that cares about those things, and there's never enough time. And I have to pretend not to be stressed.
Okay,
So.
I think you make it really well.
Thank you. That's very kind
So
of you.
that's a congratulations for you. But okay, we're going to get back to the answer. What about your personal life? So your personal life is almost like with you and the work also.
When I'm working on a job, it often feels as though there often is, zero time for a personal life. But at the same time, there can be a lot of time between jobs.
Yeah, okay.
So you can live your life then. And you're living your life while you're working. You make friends on set. It's not the same as a family and wife and kids.
But it's not worst. I mean, it's nice. I think that almost nobody has the opportunity to work with a lot of different people each project, and that has the same dynamics that you have. So I think it's nice, like, to have many friends. Maybe they're not going to be the family that it's going to be all day with you or like that, but I think those are special relationships too. So I think that's magical too.
I agree. No, I've made, there's some really wonderful, creative, caring, intelligent people that work in this industry. And, I've had in my life 2 office jobs, and I've been fired from both. So I'm not meant to be in an office.
Yeah, okay. But it's perfect. And what works did you have, like an office work? Which works?
Gosh, I worked in PR for a brief time. I worked as a waiter, which is not an office, but it's a previous job. I worked as a reporter for small newspapers. I worked, what else have I done? Usually something to do with writing or research. I went to school for literature.
Okay.
And that actually has helped me a lot in this job, because it's my job to understand the story of what we're telling very specifically. It's other people's jobs too, the director and everything, but sometimes the director will turn to me like, okay, what's the scene about, or what just happened, and I have to be there, but like, oh, he just got, his brother was just thrown off a cliff. Whatever the story is, I have to remind him where we are in the story, so he can or she can recenter their heads around what we're doing. Yeah, so it's just needing to. That's part of it, and that happens sort of naturally because in my job there's a lot of preparation to do. But in preparing for it, you're reading the script over and over and over again, and so you really get to understand the script on a very small detail level. So when questions come up, you have the answer.
Yeah. Okay. You told something very interesting at this moment. You told me that people that works in this industry, almost they are like really smart people, and that was a surprise for me when I started to be with you guys in the crew. It was like, wow, I love this because everybody looks super smart. They are they are nice people, but they have these super skills. Well, it was really interesting, that thing that you said. I just connect that by now, and it's super special. So these kinds of productions, this job really demands you to be competitive, intelligent, and to give your life with passion to it. It's not made for everyone.
It's definitely not made for everyone. In terms of competition, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, on some level, sure. But for me, basically, I wait for my phone to ring. And it rings, and someone said, oh, this guy recommended you, or it's the same producer who I worked with before, and they like me. They're like, hey, I have a job. Are you available? In terms of, I once had a 30-minute conversation with the wardrobe designer, costume designer, about a hat and whether this character should wear the hat in this scene and whether, if we lose it or something. And for a lot of people, it would be like, why are you spending 30 minutes talking about a hat? Who cares? Well, we care. I care. The costume designer cared. And you have to care. You have to care about these kinds of details, and you have to care for 12 hours a day or longer, every day, Monday through Friday. And here in Mexico, half a day on Saturday.
We have interviews at Sunday.
I have an interview coming on Sunday. It's not for everyone, but lots of people in the industry have families. They have wives and husbands and children. But the days can be very long. And, a lot of people don't have families because of that. There are certain jobs where on set where when you're done, you're done. Like when the day ends, you're done. You get to go home, and whatever time you have, you get to spend at home. My job is a little different. I have, like I said, a couple hours of work I have to do after I get home. Or most days it's a couple hours. But people live lives. People, but it's not for everyone. It's physically demanding. It's like if you see a scene in a movie or a TV show and it's out in the woods and it's very cold and there's snow, well, we filmed it when it was very cold out in the woods.
Yeah.
It was very cold.
It was not
It's not CGI. It's not special effects. It was very cold that day, I hate the cold. I hate working
Really?
in the cold. Well, I have to write. So and I can't wear gloves to do it. So when it's cold, I can't do it, It's
I hate cold.
it makes my job very difficult. But yeah, it's physically demanding, long hours, and there's other things too. There's what's called politics. You're dealing with a lot of personalities, you're dealing with famous people. Whenever a director comes to me and complains about an actor, they take too long to get out of hair and makeup or they're being whatever, I always tell them, no one is tuning in because Larry Miles is a script supervisor.
Okay. So they feel better after those words?
I don't know if they feel better, but they're reminded that people, for the most part, will watch a movie or a TV show because of the actor.
Yeah. Well, yes.
So if they're being difficult,
Yes.
that's part of the deal. For me, with actors, it's very important that whatever problems I'm having with anyone else on the crew, I don't let the actor know about it. I could be ready to murder someone, and then an actor walks by. I'm like, hey, he's my best friend.
Okay.
Because, the actor, they have to be in a certain, it's all about imagination for the actor. They have to be in a certain headspace.
Yeah, in the mindset that in that moment.
Right. So I don't want to mess with that mindset. I don't want them thinking there's a problem, right? I want them thinking everything's peaceful and wonderful and whatever they need. Yeah, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it looks like you look super fun all the time, like focusing and serious. Maybe you are fun inside, stress and fun inside.
Do I not seem fun when you see me on set?
I see you like focused,
I am focused.
so that's what I see.
I see.
Well, the first time that I saw you, I thought, oh, that man is super tired right now. Because that was one perception at the first. I'm honest, but I thought, wow, he's making a lot of jobs because he looks like super focused and tired at the same, but focused. So it's a skill to do all the things that you do. I think are super huge, super demanding, as you told before. I think that all the crew has their own rhythm and time for work to from 1 hour to another hour, but you still have this hard work after the work. So it's cool to hear it. So now I understand why sometimes they look like focused or maybe tired, but it's that. I'm joking.
No, I'm tired. You're right. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Okay.
But,
You love it, and that's the thing.
I do. And, directors and producers and actors, they're usually very smart people, and they're funny. Mm-hmm. We joke. We have fun while on set, while doing the work. Yeah. So, I love it.
Yeah, that's sweet. Well, Larry, we're going to start to end this interview. So I want to ask you something. You can think like a few seconds if you want. But we really like you to say to us here, to the audience, a message or an advice for them, for the people that are watching us. What do you want to tell them?
Related to this work, related to
a person's life, whatever you want to share. It's not has to be like about this.
Oh, that's a large question. Well, when I think of my own life, and I think of regret, it's usually wasted time. So what I would recommend is, if there's something that one wishes to do with their life, I would recommend trying to do it right now. Doesn't mean throwing away whatever you have, but trying to pursue whatever the dream is. I would recommend it. Sometimes you get a lot of time off, right? In my industry, if there's not work or whatever it is. And it makes you think, when you're on vacation, it only means anything if you're coming off of work, right?
Yes, got it.
And I know that not everyone has work that they enjoy or that they find fulfilling, but that doesn't mean that tomorrow has to be like today. It's a very American thing to say, but that's how I feel, and one should, in whatever way one can, try to move towards what they wish to be doing if they're not currently.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, Larry, thank you so much for your time. We are really glad that you have been here in this interview. I hope you're glad too when you see the final product, so you can say, hey, this is wrong and this is right. You can tell us. But no, I'm joking. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, guys. We are coming with more.